All right, welcome. Today we're going to do the derivative of sine and cosine. It'll be a lot of fun. And once that's done, it'll unlock all the trig functions for us. Let's get started. So, need to remind ourselves of a couple facts. The first is a reminder of a result in angle addition formula that you had presumably in high school. It says the sine of x plus h is the sine of x, the cosine of h, plus the cosine of x, the sine of h. All right. We also need two facts on limits that we have done earlier. The first is the limit as h goes to 0 of 1 minus the cosine h all over h is 0. And the other is that the limit as h goes to 0 of sine h over h is 1. So we'll use all three of these facts. All right, our main statement is this. The theorem is that the derivative of the sine is the cosine, and the derivative of the cosine is negative sine. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out why this is. We'll actually just do the derivative for the sine because the calculation for the cosine is very similar. So here we go. Why? So let's start calculating. D by dx, sine of x, by the definition of the derivative, it's the limit as h goes to 0, sine of x plus h minus sine of x all over h. Okay. Next we're going to use that angle addition formula for the sine. So that's the sine of x, cosine of h, plus the cosine of x, sine of h, minus the sine of x, all over h. So these first two terms were just the angle addition formula for the sine of x plus h. All right, now we're going to just gather some terms together here. Let's put these together, everyone with the sine of x next to them. In fact, we'll factor out this term here and this term here. So the sine of x times the cosine of h minus 1. And the other term we'll just leave alone. Cosine of x, sine of h, all over h. All right. Now we're going to do the limit of a sum as the sum of the limits. So that'll be the limit as h goes to 0, sine x, cosine h minus 1 all over h, plus the limit as h goes to 0, cosine x, sine h over h. All right. Now, this sine x and the cosine x, they've got no h's in them. So as far as h is concerned, they're constant. So they'll pull outside of the limit sign because constants pull outside of limits. So that'll be sine x, limit as h goes to 0, cosine h, right there, cosine h minus 1 all over h, plus cosine x, limit as h goes to 0, sine h over h. And we've already said that this limit was 0 and this limit was 1. So the only thing that survives is the cosine of x. And so there you have it. Derivative of sine is cosine, and similarly the derivative of the cosine will be minus sine. So that's it.